Good morning, everyone. Today's Wednesday, it is April the 3rd, and these charts, the futures in 5, are brought to you by MotiveWave, and the data is coming from Top Step Trader. So, we are taking a look at the ES, haven't moved the lines from yesterday's video, and we are marching right up into this zone. Our momentum continues to decline. And so we are caught with the thought of, well, wait a second, what do I do here? And, you know, at some point, the chart is going to have to straighten itself out. Momentum doesn't stay divergent forever without at least some kind of minor fade. And we aren't getting any of that yesterday. We were very still. And today, rocketing to the upside, we've got again jobs numbers on Friday. I mentioned that one yesterday. And we've got the media sort of giving the credit to this bounce up for the trade agreement. What do we want to look for today? Pullbacks or buy zones. This is bullish territory. And when we see these upward arrows, the same kind of upward arrows, though not generated quite the same way as in the metastock formation, it says, you know what, when it comes back to that area, you can take a long, just watch for your target support being the low of the nearby candlesticks also with arrows. That gives you great big move to the upside there if we had engaged in this space. So now we're going to be looking for the next one like that, and it's very likely to be something fairly deep because we are getting extended from the moving averages in large part. I talked about this being a curve, and this candlestick right here sort of helped flatten that out, but it is still a little bit of a curve. NQ, same sort of thing going. We've got to take a look at even larger targets here just in case. We're going to take a peek at the top of this, that's 63.83 or so, and then we are coming right into this edge. If we look at that being the close, we are looking at 75.92. Still lots of upward momentum here for the YM. This is the weakest of the bunch. It's barely here into the other formations, and its momentum is very, very divergent. Big punches upside, likely to fade, uh, deep dips likely to hold. So we want to watch for if we have any kind of rustle in the market. And I think that rustling is very likely to come with the jobs numbers. Any big dip that you see, let it stabilize. Look at your daily and weekly support zones, and then you can gauge longs from there. Could they be bouncing into lower highs? Yes, absolutely. But because of the structure of the markets right now, any deep dips will bring value buyers to the mix. Take a look at oil. Oil continues to move upward. Take a gander at this. We've got 62.77, 63.22, likely a major resistance zone. But this area that it's chopping around, that's 62.74, likely to break out. Listen, we had a build yesterday in the actual inventories. However, OPEC continues to chant its commitment to decline. Several other countries have said, hey, listen, we're not buying from Iran. We're going to have zero input from them. And all of that is really putting pressure on the demand cycle for what we are engaging in. My thought is that we are still very close to resistance. So pullbacks or buy zones, they have been shallow. And on the move up, we have a little bit of a decline in the relative size of motion. this area here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days where they rejected this number. So at the very least, at the very most, I should say, that's probably where we head in short order. Other than that, we're going to pull back and have ourselves a little bit of noise like this. Gold trying to hold, same level of support. I still am looking for buy zones around this 1291 area to see if it'll pull back. We have diminished volume overall. And here's something very, very interesting. See this arrow right here? This arrow designates a short action event. And so what we would do, since it's flat, we would wait for it to actually come in to the 1304 area to 1301.30. So you'd need about 3 points of a stop if you go in at 1301. But you'd look for nearby resistance and initiate the long right there at that level, since the moving average is relatively flat. So that being said, we could start seeing some more downside action for sure. Notice this is the same thing. This says, hey, listen, you want to short at the retest of the high of this arrow, and that gives us the very next day, it gives us a short, but only into support. This will be the same kind of traction that we will look at the first pass. And notice, when the moving average is up, that's not nearly as possible. Okay? It works much of the time coming into support, but in general, the more upwardly sloping the moving average is, the more likely it is that a downside arrow just says, hey, look for support. All right? Good luck trading today.